Thank you so much for joining this webinar about the Data Analytics Career Accelerator Program with our special guest, Natalia Garcia, here today. She'll be telling us more about herself and her experience on the program, but I'd just like to start off by introducing myself and tell you a little bit about the program and how this webinar will go. So my name is Niels. I am an enrollment advisor for the Data Analytics Career Accelerator Program. And in my role, I speak to many people that are interested in the program and to give them an overview and an understanding of what you can expect from the outcome, as well as see whether the program is a good fit for the people that are interested. Now, this Career Accelerator program is very much a career-focused program to have people either change their career, kickstart their career, or further advance their career with data analytics. Everything on the program has very much been geared towards specific career outcomes. So part of that is individual career coaching, but also a very practical approach to education in the sense that you'll be putting your skills that you acquire on the program into practice with a real employer, as well as building a practical portfolio of evidence, really helping you being able to differentiate yourself from other candidates when you are transitioning towards a more technical role. Sorry, I forgot the introduction about the webinar itself. So this will basically be an hour session. It is also recorded, and you are definitely encouraged to ask any questions you have in the chat. I do see there's already a question that's come through, which is great. We will get to your questions a little bit later on, but we will first start with talking a little bit with Natalia and her experience on the program. And you'll find in the chat as well the links to the program brochure and the link to the option to book a call with your own enrollment advisor. If you have not done so already, definitely recommend booking a call with your enrollment advisor, regardless of where you're at in your decision-making process. Always welcome to schedule a chat with your enrollment advisor to further discuss the program and your ambitions there. So far about me and the webinar. I'm very excited to introduce Natalia. Hi, there she is. Hi, Natalia.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining. Um, could you give us a quick introduction about yourself and how you came to be here?
Sure. So in 2022, I did the program. I had an experience doing data analysis, particularly data engineering, but I did feel like I lacked some core technical abilities, which the program gave me. And yeah, at present, I am working for a public policy institution where I do quantitative research and data analysis. I've been doing this for the past 2 years now.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you again for being here. I have a couple of questions just to start us off, but again, encouraging anyone here to also ask questions in the chat, and we'll get to those a little bit later on. But how did you first hear about the Data Analytics Career Accelerator program?
Sure. So I was initially looking into a master's in data science at LSE as well. But I did think it was quite long because it was a 2 year program, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend 2 years. And an ad just popped, and I just put in my information, and from there I enrolled in the next couple of months.
Okay, perfect. And what was it initially that made you choose for the Career Accelerator program over a master's, apart from the duration?
Definitely the duration one was one of the main things, but the fact that it was very career focused and it had quite a lot of technical skills, because what I wanted was to develop my technical skills and to have a credential that showed that I had good technical skills, and that's what really got me into the career accelerator.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll definitely ask a little bit more about whether you gained the skills that you were looking for. But firstly, you mentioned briefly about quantitative and qualitative research that you're doing. So you're blending that in your career, you're doing quantitative and qualitative research. And how did this program specifically help you sharpen the skills and apply them to data analytics in diverse global settings?
Sure. So because I do research for public policy, you you need the qualitative skills to do literature reviews and the quantitative skills. And this is when the program really came in and strengthened my existing skills by doing Python, by learning Tableau, by learning how to do data visualization, data storytelling, and doing data processing, as well as doing simple and multiple linear regression. So it does help for research and to apply data analytics in various contexts, which is what I quite liked about this program, because I think my case is just one particular thing, which is public policy, is a small niche where you can do data analytics on basically every industry.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's a very universally applicable skill set to have, indeed. Um, and did you have any prior experience with any of the tools or coding languages that you were learning on the program?
I did have some experience with Python and SQL as well, but the program gave me Python, SQL, Tableau. I usually I had been using Power BI and not Tableau, so now I have like a more extensive set of skills. And I think what is quite good about the program is it's so focused on getting those skills. The coursework that you get is very technical. It's very, very technical. So what you're going to be doing a lot of times, and I think it's important to know, is programming. You're going to be programming quite a lot on your own and with your team because it's going to be group coursework, which was actually quite enjoyable as well.
Sorry, you cut out for a moment there. I don't know if that was just me, but I did get the gist of it. Um, Now, what would you say were the most important technical skills that you gained from the program that you now use regularly on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Python is definitely like the most important one. And I think I did learn quite a bit of stuff on Excel. So I use Excel and Python on everyday basis and data visualization skills weekly as well.
Okay. And what do you use when it comes to data visualization? Do you still use the tools that you learned on the
No,
program, or?
I don't use Tableau. I use
Mhm.
Power BI mostly. I think the technique and the understanding on how to do data presentation and data storytelling was something that I gained a better understanding of the program. I mean, it has helped me to produce dashboards and to present them to stakeholders and to different technical and non-technical people.
Yeah. Perfect. And as far as I understand, the skills between Tableau and Power BI are also quite transferable. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure.
Okay, perfect. So, your career transition spans over multiple sectors, from what I understand. Uh, what were the key moments or milestones during the program that helped you confidently shift into a data analysis career?
So I did for my pre-grad politics, philosophy, and economics. That although it was quantitative, I noticed it lacked more technical skills. And what I quite liked about the Career Accelerator was that it gave me technical skills, and my career coach, he really did help me try to understand what I wanted to do. That I wanted to get into public policy with data analysis, and he was very patient, and he helped me look for different opportunities. And when I was actually undertaking a CLV program, I got a job offer.
Perfect. And like, what specifically was it that the career coach did with you to aid you in that process?
Um, it was quite it's a process over many months, but I was particularly understanding what my aim is, what do I want to do with life, how do I want to get there, where do I want to leave, that I want my job to be remote, what sectors, and just by very much getting into that niche, he helped me have it way more clear. And yeah, I started applying to positions while I was still talking to him, and then I got a position.
Great. So it helped you get that first next position. Do you feel like it also helps you plan your future career steps as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a whole career plan, and it really helped me try to visualize what I wanted to do and how I wanted my perfect job to be.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's great to hear. That's also, yeah, very much what they do is they really focus on your longer term career goals as well as your short term goals, which is yeah, very so valuable to have. Um, and would you have any advice for any individuals who have a strong analytical or policy backgrounds, but are quite new to coding and technical data skills?
I think once you understand the basics of programming, it's very important for you to continue programming, even if, because what happens is that at your job, you might not be programming all day, but it's very important for you to continue programming and to get those skills like refreshed, because what happens with programming is that if you don't do it for 6 months, believe me, if you go back into coding after 6 months, you'll be a bit lost. It's like a language. If you don't practice it, it's not that good after a while. And just dedicate quite a bit of hours until you get the basics of programming. And once you get that, it should be easier. When I learned to program, there wasn't any AIs, there wasn't any ChatGPT or any of that. So we had to spend hours looking for mistakes in our code. And that very much helped to understand how coding works. Nowadays
Yeah.
it's way easier because if you go into ChatGPT, what's my mistake? And it will tell you what your mistake is. But spending that time programming is key for you to be able to take a problem and to solve it through coding.
And do you feel like you've implemented AI more now in your day-to-day work?
Oh yeah, like my life has changed since AI started and were implemented into our everyday lives because now when I program and I have a doubt or a mistake, I just pop it in, this is your mistake, change it, and then my code is running. Before
Yeah.
we used to spend hours with my colleagues trying to understand what happened with the code.
Yeah, it's a miracle. Such a
Yeah.
time saver. And we have also recently, since you have actually graduated from the program, we have recently added a masterclass series around generative AI on this specific program, which I'm happy to tell everyone a little bit more about later on. Um, I think we should get into some of the questions that have been asked in the chat. I'll just go through them with you. And well, the first one is I feel like you've covered that already, and I can get into this further later on, unless you want to add anything here. But the question was, how does the career coaching work? Do you want to add anything specifically to your situation, or?
Yeah, I think I'm happy to share like some you might not have it very clear, but I think what the career coach really helps with is building a plan of how you want to get to those things. Perhaps you might not feel as confident doing a career change at a particular age or doing a career change at a very different industry because it might impact your salary. But I think if you have a very clear aim of what you want, the coach will really help you get
And what if you would not have a clear goal there? How do you think the career coach would help you there?
they show you different paths and they it's basically like going to therapy. The way I see it is like they try to show you different paths and show you different roads and how you can take them and how those different roads can take you different places. Um, and along with the sessions, you end up having a bit more of a clear understanding of what you want. And I think that's very helpful, particularly if you're going into a very drastic career change.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So next question here is, like you did mention that you had some experience with coding already, but they're
I
asking,
did.
do you think that someone with no coding background can join the program?
I definitely think you can, but I think you have to spend a couple of good hours trying to understand the basics of coding. Um, for example, you can use a data camp, which is very good for you to understand the very basics. So when you come into the program, you have a little bit of an understanding because the program is very intensive. It's a very intensive program where you learn quite a lot of the stuff. So I would say if you have the time before starting the program to spend a couple of hours a week just trying to understand the basics of programming, go for it. I would say you can do it without um, any programming experience, but it's going to be quite um, hard learning experience, I would say.
Yeah, and it is definitely very beginner friendly. We do have a couple of
Yeah,
eligibility requirements for this program just to make sure anyone we enroll is able to successfully complete the program and achieve their career goals from it. But everything taught on the program is taught from a beginner's perspective. So even Python, statistical models, even Excel is
really.
taught from the ground up. It is, however, indeed quite intense. So you need that intrinsic motivation to really get through everything and ask questions when you're struggling, because there's a lot of support on the program. Um, Now, next question. I think I'll cover that one myself later on. This one is asking, how many hours a day did you spend on this course?
I used to spend quite a lot of hours just because I really wanted to get my technical skills very sharp. I used to spend around 5 hours a day. And what I did, and I think is good if you have the time, we built quite a strong friendship group with some of my colleagues with the program, and we will support each other all the time. I have a question on this, I have a question on that. Can you help me out with this? Which really helped me to get the experience and for it to be more enjoyable. And for those that were based in London, we met up at LSE Library and we worked together, and that was actually quite enjoyable.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I love that community building. Even though it is a fully online program,
It
we
is.
definitely encourage as much interaction as possible. And we often see, like yourself, Natalia, that our learners create separate WhatsApp groups to have some quicker lines of communication and meet at the LSE library or other events as well. So yeah, even though it is a fully online program, we do really try to encourage that interaction, and it's also a great place for networking and building relations. Um, Now, you mentioned you spent, did you say 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Okay, that is, so on average, we see our learners spend around 15 to 20 hours per week on the program, which is very flexible when you spend these hours, as there is a lot of self-paced learning involved on the program, but there will also be live sessions, etc., to join.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention that the program is very flexible. So if you don't have the time to spend all of those hours like I did, because at the moment I was doing a part-time job, so I had quite a lot of time. Um, you can definitely do it with a full-time job. You just have to really commit to doing the coursework and your self-learning.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Um, and now, Natalia, would you say this course was worth it for you?
It definitely was. I would say the two main reasons why it was worth it. First of all, my technical skills did get quite sharp. I did learn a lot. Like when I came out of the program, I did feel like I was way more confident on my technical skills. And secondly, having a certificate, a postgrad certificate, because you come out with a postgrad on data analytics from LSE, it is something that is recognized and it is something that is worth it out in the market. As I was saying, I did get a job before finishing the program, and I'll say 80% of my colleagues, of my close friends, they did get a job and they're doing data analytics as we speak. So there's definitely a way for you to go into data analytics. Of course, is if so, each story is quite different, but I think if you have the commitment to learn the skills and if you put in some time to find a job, you'll get a job on data analytics.
Excellent. Yes. Um, And next question is about challenges. So, what are some challenges that you faced during this course?
I think, as I was saying before, there was no AI, so we spent lots of hours trying to understand mistakes on our coding, and that was quite challenging because you do get quite frustrated after a while when you're like, "What am I doing wrong?" and you don't know what you're doing wrong. But we had that support between each other. But now with AI, I don't think you will experience that. And I think, of course, balancing because it is a very intensive course, although you kind of spend 20 to 25 hours weekly, is a lot of content, and I think there's two ways to do it: just to get through it and learn the basics, or go through it and come out of the course very confident. That's what I chose to do, so I spent quite a lot of time. So balancing my job and my social life and the course was challenging.
Yes, it's definitely quite a challenge. We often get that as feedback as well. It, people are always glad that they're finally done with the program when they have graduated, but then at the same time they're calling it a life-changing experience in the sense that they're achieving their career goals from it and like opened up a whole new area of where they can move into. Um, so. Just a side note, if I'm skipping your questions, don't worry, I'll get back to those questions myself. I'm just focusing on the questions that are specifically for Natalia. Let me see here. Oh, so this question is it might be a general question, but I am also curious, who was your employer project with?
We did our employee project with a company which was doing credits a mortgage. So we have to create a model to understand which individual was like at risk of getting a mortgage. But there was also a project with TfL, so with the London Transport. But I didn't get that one. I wanted that one, but I didn't get that
Yeah, I remember that one. That one was through ThoughtWorks, wasn't it? Global consultancy
one. Yeah,
organization. Yeah, yeah. That sounded like a very interesting project. But yours also, and um, how was that project to work on for yourself? How was that any different to the other projects that you did during the program?
Well, it's a real life project, and we did it with my colleagues. How it worked is that we were able, some people that didn't make any sort of close contacts, they were assigned their colleagues, but us, we chose to be with each other. So it's quite an enjoyable project. We will meet twice a week, once during the week and once during the weekend. And it was actually very good. We got a very good grade, very enjoyable. I mean, it was a complex project, of course. We did it in Python, but the whole team collaborated very well. And I think it's a very good way to apply in a real life environment your skills that you've learned throughout the program.
Perfect. Yeah, that's interesting to hear. Um, so this question, let me see if I understand it correctly. It says, did you guys get a job with a random company, or was it for the company the projects were done while in this course? So asking whether you got your role with the company that you did the employer project with, or somewhere else, which we know it was somewhere
No,
else. Yeah,
yeah, so I did not get the job with the employer company. So as I was looking for a particular niche, which was public policy and data analysis. So I wasn't interested in getting a job with them. Um, but yeah, I applied for a couple of jobs and I got a job in a month.
perfect. And that was you created a list with your career coach of organizations that you were going to apply for or specific industry.
Yeah, I mean, we looked into this and then I did my own research um, got got the job. Yeah, I applied for the job and I got it.
Great. Um, Let me see. I think I went through most of the questions specifically for you. I can field all of the other questions that are still there. If anyone has any questions remaining for Natalia, please do ask them, and otherwise um, we'll say goodbye to Natalia soon. Then she can get back to work, and then I will field all, any remaining questions that you have. I think we're through all the questions then. Um, so yeah, well, thank you so much for your time so far, Natalia. Do you want to add anything before you go?
I mean, I would say that if you're very interested into starting and continuing your journey with data analysis, do the course. It's worth it. It's very intensive, but it's worth it, and it's recognized in the market. I think that's very important to say because a lot of the times when you do a course, you're like, is it worth it? Is the inversion that you're doing, is it worth it? It is worth it. The investment, it is worth it. You will get recognized in the market. At present, there are quite a lot of data analytics opportunities. I think the hardest is to get into your first opportunity. Once you get the ball rolling and you get your first opportunity, you'll be able to get way more opportunities. And data analysis, it is something that you can do in various sectors, and that's what's a lot of fun because you can focus on your particular niche.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been very insightful, and yeah, I loved hearing about your experience on the program, and what it's been able to achieve for you. Thanks again, and we'll keep an eye on your progress further. And I'll let you get back to work, and we'll be in touch.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good
Thank you,
day, everyone.
Natalia.
Bye.
Bye. So great to hear from Natalia and her experiences on the program. We have many stories like this with people that have done a program. We have so much content on our YouTube channel with other graduates. I will now get into the questions that we have remaining. Let me just see if I can get them back up. Here they are. So I'll go through the questions here. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in chat. And just as a reminder, there's also a link to the brochure for the program in the chat, and also a link to book a call with your own enrollment advisor. If you have not spoken to them already, definitely recommend doing so. It's a really great opportunity to see if the program fits with what you're looking to achieve, and talk you through the practical sides as well as the outcomes. So let me see here. When does the intake start? And I saw limited spots are available. That is correct. So our first next intake is October 14th. We do cap the amount of people that we take on board per intake, just so we can really maintain this individual approach of individual career coaching, individual success managers, but also the course facilitators that you can always reach out to with any questions. So there are limited spots. There are definitely still some spots available, but the official deadline for application is the 7th of October. But yeah, do reach out to your enrollment advisor if you are interested to join our next intake. I'll be happy to help you further. This question is, can you visit the campus? So this is a fully online program. You don't get any access to the LSE campus. You do, however, get access to the LSE library, where, as Natalia told us as well, she would meet often with her peers and study there together. So you get access to the LSE library, but not the campus, because it is a fully online program. This question is, do I get a certificate, and how are the exams structured? So because this is a very practical approach to education, really focused on the practical applicability of the skills that you acquire, we quickly found that having exams would not really benefit the outcomes of the program. So instead, you are for 90%, you are graded on the assignments that you submit. So there will be 4 projects that you complete on the program, 3 individual projects at the end of each course, and 1 employer project at the end of the employer project. And these 4 projects together will constitute 90% of your final grade. They'll consist of a technical report, any code that you've written, data visualizations that you've made, and a presentation to the key stakeholders where you present your findings. That being said, 10% of your grade will come from participating in peer reviewing activities. This question is, do I get a certificate, and how are the exams structured? I said there's no exams. I went through and the certificate that you get is a certificate of completion from LSE. Now, we are also currently in the process of creating a formal pathway towards a postgraduate certificate for our graduates for this program. The details have yet to be confirmed specifically, but this will likely be available next year for our graduates of this Career Accelerator program. This question is about support. So what support do you get if you get stuck? That's a great question. If you're stuck with any of the technical stuff that you're going through on the program, your first point of contact will be the course facilitator. You can reach the course facilitator by sending them a message or creating a post on the online platform. Works a little bit like a forum. You just post your question there, tag the facilitator, and they'll respond to you as soon as possible. In addition to that, there will also be weekly online live sessions. There'll be weekly online drop-in sessions where you can also ask further questions about anything that you're struggling with. Now, if you get stuck in the sense that something happened in work or life that's preventing you from progressing as intended through the program, you would reach out to your individual success manager and they'll look into solutions on how to overcome any hurdles that you might be facing. Because of this, we do see a very high success rate of our learners. Because there's a very individual approach. We want to make sure that everyone succeeds. We want to make sure that everyone achieves their career goals and reaches the end of the program successfully. This question is about are all the lectures live? What if I miss one? Would it be recorded? So yes, it will definitely be recorded. A large part of the learning you'll be doing will be self-paced learning. There will also be some pre-recorded material that you go through, working on technical instructions, assignments, practical activities. But there will be 2 weekly sessions. There'll be the weekly drop-in session and the weekly live session. And there will also be other sessions spread throughout each course with industry experts, with the career coaching team, the success team, masterclass series around AI. All of our live activities are also recorded. So if you miss any of these, you can always watch the recording as well. So this is the question about who's the employer project with. So Natalia explained to us her project that she did with her employer partner. We work with various employer partners, and there's always a couple for each intake. The main ones that we work with are Bank of England, ThoughtWorks, which is the one Natalia mentioned, had the project with TfL, Transport for London. We work with Agent 3, Zumo, Kites, My Community Finance, Pure Gym. So there's a variety of employer projects that we work with, employer partners that we work with, and kind of regardless of the type of data that you're working with, it is really more about putting these very universally applicable skills into practice with a real employer and being able to highlight this experience as well during an interview or an application process when you do go for that role. Is this course suitable if you're joining back after a break in the industry? Most definitely. We get a variety of people on the program. As I mentioned in the beginning, we get career starters, we get career changes, career advancers, or people purely looking to future-proof their skill set with data analytics. But we also often get people that have had a career break, for example, whether it's due personal reasons or taking care of children or anything like that. So yes, it has been designed for that. The approach of the career coach with you is very much an individual approach. It's really focused on what you need to get to where you want to be. So they'll look into what you want to be achieving from the program initially, but also, as mentioned, so build a roadmap with you on how to achieve your longer term career goals. And they'll really get a clear understanding of where you are now and where you want to be and what to fill in the meantime to get there. So yes, it's definitely suitable when you are getting back to work. The ages of the people doing this program. So most people that we enroll have quite significant work experience, anywhere between 5 or 25 years of work experience. Average age is usually end 30s, beginning 40s. We do have people on the extreme sides as well, people at the end of their career, but also people in the first few years of their career, really looking to kickstart their career with data analytics. So it's quite varied. So does this program cover machine learning topics for predictive analysis? So it does touch upon machine learning in the sense, yeah, it does touch upon machine learning, and we definitely get into predictive analysis, predictive modeling, forecasting, or statistical models. So yes, we do get into that. What tools can I learn during the course? So you'll learn all of the technical skills that you're going to need to step into if you want a full-on data analyst role. It's not necessary. Many of our learners choose to use these skills in combination with a role to benefit the organization and their role. The technical skills are one thing, but we also definitely focus on a lot of human skills that are highly valued by employers and will really help you be a successful data analyst and go faster and further in your career than if you would just have the technical skills. But when it does come to the technical skills, we cover Tableau, Excel, SQL Postgres, SQL databases, Python, GitHub, Bash, and R. Now, as far as the coding languages go, we cover Python and R, but the main focus on the program will be Python. Are there many job opportunities out there? So most definitely, and that's also one of the reasons why we created this Career Accelerator program, is that we notice a skill gap in this area. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Almost any organization will benefit from having these skills in-house. There's so many roles that you can use data analytics in without being a full-on data analyst. There are a lot of job opportunities out there. I definitely recommend searching a little bit yourself as well on LinkedIn or Glassdoor, that sort of websites. But there is a lot out there. If you have a specific industry that you're interested in, or a specific type of role, or other specific characteristics of a role, this is all something that you will be exploring with your career coach, and which roles you would best find this in, and then create the next steps to actually get there as well. How much are the fees and what are the payment options? So the total fees of the program are £8,395. You can pay this upfront for a £700 fee reduction. Alternatively, you can pay the fee spread out over 6, 9, or situationally over 24 months after initial 10 or a 20% deposit, and the remaining fees interest free. But definitely meet with your enrollment advisor when you can to further discuss the options available to your situation specifically, and they'll be happy to answer any questions you have in addition to that. One more question here. A few questions that have already been sent to someone at LSE, and I'm hoping to receive a response soon. However, if I don't know, yes, definitely to ensure. Yes, definitely. You should receive a response quite soon. But yeah, you can definitely send me an email as well, or possibly your enrollment advisor has already reached out to you. You can just reply to their email or book a call with them through the link to their calendar. They'd always be happy to answer any questions you might have, or if you have any specific questions you'd like me to answer now, I'm happy to do that. So just drop them in the chat. So if there's any further questions, feel free to ask them. For my part, it's been great hosting this. It's been great to hear from Natalia, and I've seen a lot of great questions come through. And let me just see if there's any left over. Is this program being offered in partnership with another tech company? So this program has been created as a collaborative model between our industry partners, Tableau and GitHub, which are two tech giants in the industry, and LSE. And this is why it's such a practical approach to education. Everything's really geared around how you're going to use these skills in practice in your role, how you're going to maximize your career potential through the program, and how do you present your skills as well, and how do you practice them? How do you build that confidence and competence in working with data? So yes, it is a collaborative model, this program between industry and academics, which makes it very much geared towards those real world outcomes as well. Well, I think that's all the questions. Any other questions at all? Feel free to drop them in the chat. If there's no further questions, then I will close this webinar for now, and I will thank you so much for your attendance. And do remember to book a call with your enrollment advisor if you do have any further questions, or if you just want to check your suitability for the program. Get in touch with your enrollment advisor, book a call with them, and they'll be happy to chat with you. And there is a link to register for the program in the chat as well. Keep in mind that the official deadline for application for our October 14th intake is the 7th of October. But it's always recommended to apply sooner rather than later. But the official deadline is the 7th of October. If you need any additional time there, just can not recommend enough to just book a call with your enrollment advisor, and they'll be happy to see what can be done in your situation. If this next start date is not the best date for you, keep in mind that we do offer this program 4 times a year. So I'm sure we can find a suitable start date for you in 2025. Thank you again for your attendance, and it's been a pleasure seeing people interested in the program. And hopefully, if we have not spoken before, hopefully we can speak sometime in the future, and otherwise with your own enrollment advisor.